Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head. That didn't hurt. You guys got me thinking Johnny Cash now because of the comments in the video I just uploaded. And thinking Johnny Cash always a good thing. Hey, Andrew's here. And Slumpy. Next in, Pooper Scooper Skullhead. It's me, Gojo. Shadow Cora Nightmare. Alex, Tyler, Shelby, Wolfpaw, Johnny, Wolverine, Trevor, Peacemaker, the Golden DNT, Spezdev, Jer, Mr. Blank, Locust, and Dr. Rourke. Yeah. All that title was about was, of course, the video I just uploaded. And I appreciate that there's a number of people in the comments already saying, oh, be careful if you rile up the K-pop stands. They could dox you or something. Okay. and that's the thing too. And I understand why for most people that would be a major concern. But if I were to get doxxed, so what? What are you gonna do with that information? Want to show up to my house and complain because I made a video about K-pop? Oh, I'm sure I'll be a sympathetic ear. Jesus Christ. Alexandria says, you have insulted my favorite music. You're losing my subscription. I'll tell you, too. Oh, I love Johnny Cash, Peacemaker. I was actually surprised because when I thought about doing this video, I try and do things fairly. I knew of K-pop from little clips, and I disliked them because of the K-pop stands and their fan cams. But I'm not going to make a video like I just made and not actually research it, not actually listen to the K-pop music. As I said in the video, it's all right. I mean, it's certainly better than, like, as I used as an illustration, the Monkees. It's better than many other things that have come down the pipe and become popular for whatever reason. And the kids singing it have great voices. It's not my type of music because I think it's just kind of too bubblegummy. But I think the K-pop stans who post their shitty fan cams in unrelated topics are crap. But the music, it's okay. Johnny Boy says, my Beat It shirt came. I'm happy now. Nice. Nice. Andrew says K-pop is musical aids. I wouldn't go that far. Again, if you guys saw the video, some of the examples I used, first of all, the Monkees were just terrible. And they did not have, in general, in my opinion, the musical talent that the K-pop, at least the K-pop bands I looked into, have. And that era, well forgotten era of those truck driver songs. And I am a truck driver. I was a professional truck driver. That's the career I retired from. Those were fucking horrible. Oh my God, those songs were so stupid. Garrett McOuchie says, I miss the days when the worst music we had was stuff like NSYNC, and that wasn't so bad. I think actually the K-pop groups are very similar to the boy bands. Again, what I listen to in the K-pop, I would probably listen to like an NSYNC before that, but they're not that much different. The worst K-pop song is greater than the best country song. Well, I wouldn't say overall greater Wolverine, because then, I misspoke myself at the end of that video. I should have been more specific and said modern country, because again, we're just talking about Johnny Cash. There are some legendary country artists who I love, but modern country I have just zero use for. I can't do it. Excuse me. Chrome says, K-pop fans are trash. Simple as that. It's more culty than Japanese idols. It's like boy bands on crack. Steve says, Gangnam Style. Well, Gangnam Style. Oh, Johnny Cash is, he's the man in black. He's the legend. Just for what he did with Trent Reznor's song there, Hurt, makes him an icon for all time. Das Brot says, how come you never saw The Room by Tommy Wiseau? I have seen extended clips of it, but I still haven't seen the entire movie. What I saw in the clips, I had my doubts about being able to get all the way through it. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, that's where I am, Ruby. Again, I like a lot of the older country. Not a good portion of the older country. Johnny says cat loves food. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mama says I may be 13, but I'm a Billy Joel 80s guy. Good call. Also, my sister's a K-pop lady. I hated it, and the dancing was cool, but the music was not my taste. Yeah, and that's what I said basically in the video. It's not my taste. I can get kids being into it though. You know, it's not terrible, and certainly the
Oh,
singing isn't bad.
yeah.
There were in the clips I listened to, there was some quality singing, just not singing stuff that would be of my interest really. But Billy Joel, yeah, you can't go wrong with Billy Joel, Mamas, and Elton John. Some great storytellers of music. Shimmering Bass says, if you're questioning if a music genre is the worst, just remember country exists, unless the music genre in question is country. I'm really surprised there are this many people taking that same sentiment with me. I didn't think that would be the case. Johnny says, at least it's better than KKK pop. Yeah, because if nothing else, Johnny, they couldn't do those intricate dance moves without
Oh,
tripping over their goddamn robes
yeah.
and their vision all cut down and everything. uh, Tommy Wiseau's room is an overused meme, Chrome says. Apparently he was super creepy to his film crew, like when he really wanted that sex scene with his bare ass. Oh, him being real life IRL creepy, that wouldn't surprise me even a little, Chrome. Yeah, he just even outside of the movie, because when the whole thing was blowing up, he was doing all kinds of interviews and stuff. And anything I've seen of him as Tommy Wiseau, there's never been a moment that I didn't think, wow, this guy's a little fucking creepy. He's definitely weird. Kaiser says, has K-pop ever produced anything like Jam Project? If not, pass. I'd rather listen to happy shoujo anime songs. At least those would be cute and happy. Yeah, like I say, Kaiser, I was surprised. I thought when I was going into the whole idea of making that video, and that was going to be the title, is K-pop the worst musical genre ever, I was completely prepared to come up with a resounding yes, but in fairness, it's not. Again, the two things from my youth, just the Monkees and those truck driver songs
Oh,
alone were
yeah.
significantly worse. And I don't think K-pop is any worse than the disco craze was either. Let's see. Poppy says, I'm now 20, bitches. Oh, that's right. You were telling me, I couldn't remember what day, but your birthday was coming up. Happy birthday, Poppy. 20. You've made it through 2 decades, Poppy. I was going to tease you and say it goes all downhill from here, but no, 20 to 30, that's the primo decade. Enjoy it. Any of you guys who are in it or approaching it, enjoy it. Those of you who have just passed it, wave goodbye fondly because it don't get better. Shelby says, I have to say, being in the alternative punk music scene, there's some unbearable fans in every musical subculture. I agreed. I even spoke about that somewhat in the video. Not just in music, but in every fandom. I mean, look at us. Most of us are anime nerds, and we know that we've got our own undesirables within the fandom as well, without a doubt. Star Wars fandom certainly has douchebags within their ranks. Willie says, if y'all want some amazing anime music covers, I recommend Amalie. The lungs on her are incredible. That's been one of the real surprises in you guys turning me into an anime nerd. How much I can really appreciate and enjoy songs when I don't understand a word of what they're saying. I would have never thought that's the case, but yeah, I really, really enjoy a lot of anime music. Excuse me, Dragonsphere says Naruto fans. Parkceptions Studio says, may I just say we don't claim the K-pop douchebag fans. Yeah, and in one respect, I do feel bad for some of the legitimate K-pop fans who get dragged down by association by those shitheads with the fan cams, posting them everywhere. Samuel says, here's a little something for you. Whenever I was in high school, I was the only student who would listen to heavy rock and roll songs and or country or dubstep while everyone else listened to rap. Oh, really, Samuel? Yeah, as I said in the video, I'm not a rap or hip-hop fan, but I don't mind it. And the only reason I'm not really into rap or hip-hop that much is because, well, for one thing, it's not made for me. Hip-hop has very deep roots, obviously, in what people within that community experience, and it's not my shared life experience. So they're not making their music to appeal to me. But I've heard a lot over the years. I've heard a lot of hip hop that's been good. The one that always surprised me though was one of my favorites was Gangster's Paradise. You guys remember that? And then I found out Coolio didn't write that. That was originally a Stevie Wonder song. Did you guys know that? I was shocked when I heard that. I always loved Gangster's Paradise. Dasbrote says, I know 3 people who would be K-pop fans. Mark, Baccarat, and Pegasus. Allegiance Operator Krugar says, K-pop is the equivalent to trying to mine obsidian with a stick in Minecraft. 3 minutes of your life.
Oh,
oh, that's rough. That's a rough analogy right there. Mining obsidian with a stick. That's pretty good. Don says, would you rather listen to songs with deep, complex lyrics or songs that are just very catchy? Well, I think a lot of that, Don, always depends on mood. But overall, in general, I'd like to have really cool lyrics. I'm big on lyrics. I like them. Are there times when I'd rather just listen to something that's kind of mindless and doesn't require any thought and is just catchy? Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that's never the case. But overall, I like heavily lyrical songs. Timothy says, I will say that I love the early 2000s country music. Toby Keith, Trace Adkins, as well as classic country. There's a lot of classic country I like, Timothy. I don't care for any of the modern. Yeah, when you go back a bit, Toby Keith did have some songs like Trace Adkins too. I can remember hearing a couple of his songs I liked. But now it's just gotten to where country, because my wife actually likes country. But I've told her, I said, her and I are pretty good about, we share, after all these years, we share in everything. I can't do it. I cannot do country, but she doesn't really mind because we both like classic rock. We both like adult contemporary, so we put on one of those stations. But listening to modern country, putting a country station on the radio, is like chewing aluminum foil to me. I can't do it. Chrome says, come on, Curtis, how can you hate Ram Ranch? True. How can anybody hate Ram Ranch? That's true. Do I like Weird Al Yankovic? I think he's funny, Mamas. A lot of his songs over the years have made me laugh, especially back in the heyday of music videos. He made some funny videos like to Fat and stuff like that. Could you imagine poor Weird Al trying to make the Fat video today, the takeoff of Michael Jackson's Bad? Oh my God. He would get canceled so fucking fast for fat shaming. I'm a fat guy and I don't get that at all. I am a fat guy and it is absolutely impossible for you to fat shame me. Why? Because if you call me fat, I am. And I'm the only one who dictates whether or not I feel shame, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just, I'm fat, so what? But, well, I keep forgetting the whole world's sensitive, and the rest of the world has to be overly hypersensitive for that small percentage who can't deal with day-to-day life. Yeah, most of the songs would be canceled nowadays. You're right, Ruby. You're right. Yeah, and that Fat video was hilarious. I like that one. Sploosh says, what's your opinion on Jim Ross? I like JR. Really, I really enjoy his calls as a wrestling commentator. Don't agree with every take he has on the business necessarily, but I like him. Wimato says, all you need to write a country song is beer, women, tractors, and God. Pretty much. Agua says, "Hey, can you tell me what No Popo No is?" Sure. That was just something that Spaz Kid and I came up with when we were watching the Dragon Ball Z Abridged the first time through. You guys know how creepy Popo is, and they do those close-ups of his face, and he's got that voice and everything. And Spaz Kid and I just said that seems so rapey, so child molesterish that when they would do that close up of his face, we would be like, "No, Popo, no," because we didn't want him to touch us, to do bad touch to us. That's all. Just one of those weird things we came up with. Garrett says, "To them, I say, grow a freaking spine, sissies. There's worse things in life than being offended. Not having a sense of humor is one of them." Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if somebody's offended by something, myself included, so move on to something that doesn't offend you. Who cares? Yeah, Big Green. No, Popo, no. South Park made an episode about that once. Chrome says basically that Christian country is just love songs with Jesus inserted. I remember that one. Chrome, yeah, wasn't that's the one where Cartman bet that they could get a gold album, not realizing that in Christian rock they don't give gold, they give myrrh or something like that, or platinum album, and they don't give they don't give platinum, they give myrrh or something along those lines. Yeah, I love that one because that one at the end is where Token just kicks the shit out of Cartman. That scene makes me laugh every freaking time. Diavolo says that moment when the light stops and the Undertaker music kicks in, that was always a rush. I stand by it. I've always said that the Undertaker is the greatest gimmick in the history of wrestling. For me, easily. A320 guy, do you like Blake Shelton? I like the guy. I'm just not into that type of music. I've seen a lot of interviews with Blake Shelton. I've seen him on other shows. He seems like a really good dude. But no, I don't care to listen to his music. But so it depends on what you're asking. Yes, I think Blake Shelton's cool, but I don't want to listen to his songs. Toad says it's a dang diddly darn shame. Dang diddly darn, I like that. Very, very Ned Flanders-ish. That they stopped making DBZA episodes. It will forever go down as one of the best things ever. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely agree. Big Green says, yeah, Cartman deserves to get his ass beat sometimes. Oh, that was one of the best. Because Cartman's always a dick. But he was just such a dick in that episode. And when you see up on stage there, when Token just can't take it anymore and he just wails the shit out of him. I love that one. What's your thoughts on Christian music? Well, CC Meta not being a religious person, it doesn't hold any interest to me. So, I mean, to comment on it as a musical genre, I really can't because I don't listen to it. There's nothing involved with it that would be interesting to me. I think we all miss DBZA, Rosa. Yeah. I think we all do. Can't blame the guys, though, with all the shit they had to go through to try and put that series out. You can't blame them for shying away from it. Nope, I don't think I've heard either of those. Dalwardy says, have you heard the Chemical Worker song by Great Big Sea? Or Luang Prabang by Dave Van Ronk? No, it's possible I may have heard them at some point and not recognize them by name because me forgetting something is not out of the realm of a possibility. But I don't think so, pal. Hey, Don Streamboss. No, I haven't seen Tower of God, Aquas. That one's been brought up. That one's been brought up a number of times, just in having these chats and stuff. I don't really know anything about it other than the title. But no, I haven't seen that. Dragon Sphere says you'd be wrong, Curtis. A lot of Christian music sings about a lot of stuff that isn't religion based. Oh, I believe it. It just, by its genre, Dragon Spheres, it's nothing that is ever going to entice me to listen to it. Again, I'm nothing against it, but I can't say whether I like it or not because I've never really delved into it and I don't have any interest in delving into it. There are favorites of yours now? Yeah. Again, sometimes with my horrific memory, it's possible I may have heard them, but I don't think so. Sploosh says, I'm sad Jim Ross is on AEW. Well, I like to see him working, though, Sploosh. You know, it's good that at least he's getting to do what he loves doing. I personally think Christmas music is very underrated. CC Meta says, I think there's some great Christmas songs. I mean, that are great songs aside from just being sounds of the season. Yeah, I would agree with that. No, I didn't hear about that. Lick says, so did you hear that Daft Punk disbanded? They're only like the best musicians ever. No, I didn't hear that. Huh. Wow. Dasprot says, who's Luffy's final enemy? Akainu or Blackbeard? I haven't, Dasprot, I've got so long to go yet that I haven't even begun to think. I mean, as you pointed out, as you're alluding to, where I am right now, you would certainly be looking at one of those two guys as the potential final boss type thing. Certainly the way they set Blackbeard up, and certainly with Akainu and what he did to Ace. But I don't know. It all depends on. It could be neither of them for all I know. Who knows what might be coming up in what I'm watching right now. Excuse me. Let's see. Wolfpaw says, Goosh Goosh, I think Higotas is better because I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh, so it made it even more funny. Yeah, I think that's the opposite for me, Wolfpaw. Not that I don't like Higotas. I do. I think it's fantastic. It's just I think DBZA hits me as funnier, just especially now on the rewatch, because I know those characters outside of the abridged now. Yeah, so I get that. I think, for me at least, with any type of satire, and I've said this before, I enjoy satire more when it's directed at something that I really care for, I really like or admire or enjoy. Big Green says, as somebody who only listened to them casually instead of being an actual fan, I'm going to miss Daft Punk. Well, it's sad that I think anytime that you see, because I'm not a Daft Punk fan per se myself either, but at any time that you see a band or, anything that heavily influenced you at any point in your life from an entertainment standpoint, when you see them for whatever reason being no more, yeah, it's always sad. Lex says, as someone whose entire wannabe musical career was inspired by Daft Punk, I'm really going to miss them. Yeah, I get it. I would imagine, Lex, it probably hit along the same lines. I mean, with Daft Punk, fortunately, it's not a death. It's just a breakup. But with Robin Williams, his death was really hard-hitting to me, and not because I ever met the man. I didn't know him. But he had a huge influence on me. He was my favorite comedian when I first started doing stand-up, and so you had that connection. I used to study him for hours. That was back in the day when it wasn't as easy to get. You certainly didn't have the internet to just go on and get YouTube videos. So once VHS was out, had every VHS tape I could get. I watched old Mork and Mindy episodes, anything, just because I was geeked out for him. And when he was gone, it was really difficult, considering it's not somebody I ever knew, but he had an influence on my life. Downward says, Luang Prabang is about Vietnam POWs, and the chemical worker song is like a coal miner song. The style they're done in doesn't seem to be done much. Wow. No, I haven't heard that. I think I would have remembered that, Downward. Something that heavy, I think I would have remembered. I haven't heard that. Well, Billy Joel has, I love that song. His Vietnam song. Oh, what's the title of it? Let me try and get the title in my head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just running the lyrics to get to the title. I can say all the lyrics, but I can't come up with the title.
Yeah.
One of you guys will put it up there. Learn fast to travel light. Jesus Christ with all of our might. I can't remember the name of the song. I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about, though. I love that song, but me forgetting a title is a surprise to no one. Anime King says pineapples. Sorry, I love pineapples. By the way, here's $5. Well, thanks, Anime King. I'm not a huge fan of pineapples, but I am a fan of $5. I don't know why I've never liked pineapple. Fruit. You guys know I don't like veggies. There's a lot of fruits I like. I just never liked That's why it's almost not fair, in the pineapple on pizza thing. I hate it, but that's because I don't like pineapples. So I shouldn't even really get a vote in that, I guess. Oh, Daft Punk is Norse, Wolverine says. I'll up all night to get Loki. Really? I didn't hear that. Ruby says apparently suicide went up for a few months after Robin Williams died. Wow. That really, oh, I only said they were Norse for that joke, Wolverine says. No, not Downeaster Alexa. We didn't start the fire going north, says. Good. I can't. Does anybody have the song title? I'm still running it through my head to try and get to the Good Night Saigon. Thank you, Mamas. Yes. Good Night Saigon. Thank you. I was just about to have to go look it up because it's going to drive me nuts. I love that song. If you guys haven't heard that, it's a long song. Really well done. Of course, I think hard hitting for me because I grew up in the Vietnam era. So, as a kid, that monopolized a lot of what we saw and what we experienced. Let's see. Women Toad says, Curtis, are you also going to be rewatching the DBZA movies because we need to see the future? I'm not sure, Women Toad. I'm not sure. I haven't decided on that. Kaiser says, when you import an anime without subs because it's not available in your region to when trying to keep legit, turns out online sub files are copyright. Guess I'm learning Japanese next. That's the next step. Yep. Good Morning Vietnam. That was a good movie, Philip. I enjoyed that. Yeah, he was brilliant. And again, he just like what Lix is describing, you don't have to meet someone or have met people for them to have a significant influence on your life, and he really did. That really hurt. Wolf says, Stan Lee's had a toll on me because I always wanted to meet him. I'm pretty much grown up with most of the Marvel characters. Oh, sure. Sure, he goes way back to my era as a kid. Yeah, Stan Lee. I was fortunate. I've done all right. My biggest icons growing up, I never got to meet Robin Williams, unfortunately. But I did get to meet Bruno Sammartino. So that was really cool. And he was my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid. And I mean, he was one of my first real man crushes. I mean, I was nerded right out for him. And you couldn't have met a nicer gentleman in your life. Dick Butkus is still alive. I would love to get to meet him someday. He was a big hero of mine. I don't know if that'll happen. I was a huge Secretariat nerd, and while Secretariat the horse died many years ago, I did up at the Saratoga racetrack get to meet both Secretariat's owner and his jockey. So that was really cool. And of course, my other hero, Roberto Clemente, died when I was just a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Lick says they announced their split by making a video where the robots blew themselves up. We mourned by binge listening to their entire repertoire. That's kind of cool, though. That's pretty cool, Lix. I didn't know that. Let's see. Oh, Anime King is Stream Boss and says, sorry, I wasn't finished yet. I'm giving away free apples, which are the pine. By the way, here's another $5. I love randomness. I really do. Lix says, Dick butt kiss. It's funny too, Lix, he didn't even play on my favorite team. My favorite team was the Cowboys because I've always, with sports, whenever I found a team, I was like, loyalty, you stick with them. So when I first got into football, the Cowboys back in the 60s had a guy named Bob Lilly who was a beast on the defensive line, and a guy named Bob Hayes who was an Olympic sprinter and was crazy fast as a receiver. So I liked those two guys, so I became a Cowboys fan. Well, shortly after I had announced my fandom of the Cowboys, I discovered Dick Butkus. And for those of you who don't know the legend, Dick Butkus was a psychopath on the field. I mean, and that was legit. He was crazy. The stories about him are legendary. And not only was he a psycho, he was a freak athlete. So Dick Butkus not only wanted you to die because you had the wrong color shirt on the football field, he was the type of guy that could accomplish it. Isn't pineapples the international symbol for swingers? Is it, Tyler? If so, maybe I have to reevaluate my take on pineapple then. Yeah, no lie, Rosa. Your favorite team is Cowboys, so that's why you laugh so easily. Seeing your team lose all the time made you crazy. Well, you can't blame it just on that, Rose. I'll give you guys a rundown of all my favorite major sports teams. Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since, was it 95 or 96? Milwaukee Bucks have not won a championship since 1971. Pittsburgh Pirates have not won a championship since 1979. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have not won a championship since 1988. At least the Irish have kept it interesting for me. You know, they've been to the playoff twice and everything. And they're they're trying to close that gap between them and the Alabamas of the world. But the others, in that time, my Pirates have set a record for the most losing seasons in a row in the entire history of Major League Baseball. William Toast says Dick Butkus is legendary because of his name. Johnny says, I got to meet my three heroes, Jim Cornette, Mick Foley, and Willie Mays. Did you, Johnny? See, Willie, I was really disappointed. I got to meet Willie Mays too, but I don't know if he was just having a bad day, but at that signing I went to, unfortunately, it's none they take great pride in. He was not a happy person on that day. Jake says, speaking of randomness, how come countries use the metric system don't use metric time? 100 seconds a minute, 100 minutes an hour, 10 hours a day. Good question, Jake. I mean, obviously, we've grown accustomed to the way we do things here in America, but the metric system is much more efficient and makes much more sense. You know, when you work everything off a scale of 10, it just obviously makes things less complicated, but... Philip says, Robin Williams actually got his start on Happy Days and Mark for Mark. Yep, I remember those episodes. Apparently the character was so popular that he got his own spin-off show, Mork and Mindy. Yep, absolutely true, Philip. Yeah, he was wildly popular when he was on Happy Days, those couple episodes. Yeah. Yep, I remember him distinctly because I always watch Happy Days as well. Yeah, those were some good times. And Mork and Mindy was... I mean, Mork and Mindy was pure fluff, but Robin Williams is what made it big for a few seasons there because, come on, the plot lines were ridiculous, but he was funny. Nanu, nanu. Anime King says, Curtis, have you seen Sephiroth versus Virgil by Screw Attack Death Battle? No. If you haven't, you should. It's totally wicked, by the way. Here's another $5. See, I don't know the characters, though, Anime King. Thank you for the other $5. That's the only thing about the death battles or the rap battles. If you don't really have a good knowledge of the characters, I think you just lose a lot of the it loses a lot of the impact. That's why there's only, as far as I know, in ERB's playlist, there's only one I haven't watched, but it's because I don't really know either character. And I'm not going to, make a reaction video on the channel just because ERB reactions get good views. That's just not something I want to do. And I don't think I would have enough information to make an entertaining reaction for you guys. I'd just be sitting there for the most part going, oh, wow, this old guy seems badass, that type of thing. Rosa says, Curtis, what is your opinion on sea shanties? I don't know any. I know that's a thing now, but I don't know any. One of my favorites is Sentien by Longest Johns. I don't know anything about it. Wimito says, Sephiroth is from Final Fantasy. Is that where the name is from? I knew I'd heard the name. I only know that because he was a recent DLC character for Super Smash. Oh yeah? Oh, the thing that'll always stay with me, it'll be, a fond memory for me is, most of you guys remember all through high school, Spaz Kid, when they would have breaks, we would have whole days set aside where he would just have all his buddies come over and they would game. And that they would just game all day long. And they were all into Smash. So that would always be one of the games of the day, and they would have tournaments and stuff. And so forever, Super Smash Bros. Will hold that memory for me. Some really good days. Excuse me. Shadow says, Curtis, sorry for beating you Cowboys in the first NFC Championship game in the 66 season. I'm saying this because I'm a Packers fan. That was, let's see, was 66, or was that earlier? Which one was the Ice Bowl? Was that it, Shadow? Excuse me, because the Packers won that one. That might have been the Ice Bowl game, where it was like -30 while they were playing. That's crazy. Just, Yeah, damn near freeze to death just watching clips of that game. Holy shit, that was terrible. Cece says you're a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I feel sorry for you, old man. Cowboys and Knicks are racing who's going to beat the Cubs record. Also, Cubs winning the title in 2016 is an instant classic. Yeah, that. Knicks, I don't care for. I've never been a Knicks fan, but I guess the Cowboys are a little less frustrating for me though, because at least the Cowboys are trying to win, which sounds redundant in sports, but it's not, because the Pirates, my favorite baseball team, are not. Their ownership will not pay salaries of any magnitude because they have that whole structure where they get profit sharing from the rich big market teams. So basically, the Pirates organization exists just for them to grab a few bucks off the top, and they could give two shits less about winning or losing. They'll try and tell you differently, but their actions make it quite clear what they're doing. And that gets frustrating. The Ice Bowl was the 66 season. I thought that was that one, Shadow. Yeah. Man, like I say, you honestly feel cold just watching the clips. Pentagon Phantom says, did you botch a move? Oh, sure, I botched moves. Everybody's botched moves. Have I ever botched a move and injured someone? No. No, that's something I took great pride in. You know, I always said in wrestling, you're going to get hurt. It hurts every day. It's fucking bumping hurts. So you're going to get hurt. The goal is to not get injured, and I've never injured anybody I've worked with. Philip says, God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on Halifax Pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Look, man. Shahab says, random questions. Sorry for that. Oh, it's okay. But when you said one time you get frustrated by people at times, you make sure to justify your reasons. For example, someone trying to be cool or funny but does mean well. That's a really, really general question. Do I make sure to justify my reasons? No. No, if I get frustrated or annoyed, it's because I'm frustrated or annoyed, and I'm not the type who apologizes for that. Now, if I say something out of line to someone that it's proven to me later why that was out of line, I don't have a problem with apologizing for it. But even if somebody's trying to be cool or funny, if it strikes me the wrong way and I respond to them in kind in the way it struck me, I'm not going to apologize to you for it. It's just one of those things. Oh, okay, you didn't mean it that way. Well, that's the way it came off, and we can move forward. I'm not a grudge holding type when it comes to things like that, but I come from old school. You know, just like in the days back when we would get into fights in the street and stuff amongst our regular crew. You know, you'd be wailing each other in the face. And then 20 minutes later, everybody eating together at Der Wiener Schnitzel. I only bring that up because I can remember that actually happening. It was over. It was done. You don't hold a grudge about it. You had a beef about something. Somebody had to get hit in the face, and then you went about your life. Chrome says, now Smash Bros. Has 89 characters in the new one, including Minecraft Steve. I did hear about Minecraft Steve. Also, 103 stages so far and hundreds of songs from across the gaming industry. It's a bigger crossover than Avengers. Jesus Christ. Wow, Chrome. I didn't really... I wonder... Now, Spaz Kid hasn't been into that game as much because, again, being off to college last few years and stuff, he's not with his high school buddies anymore. I wonder if... Well, he's probably aware of all that, though. Wiener Schnitzel is great. I used to love it, Philip. I had asked you guys not too long ago if they still existed because, man, those are so... I don't even know why it was because it was funny. I worked in California. I worked at a Carl's Jr. I was working too. I would work at Carl's Jr. and McDonald's at the same time. Well, not same times a day in the same time period. But I would work at Carl's Jr., but for breaks and shit, I would go across the street to Der Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know why. They had good hot dogs. The burgers were fantastic. I loved the fries there. I mean, we're going back. Holy shit. Scary this. Over 35 years. I don't know how much of the stuff is the same, but man, that was one of my favorites. Shadow says, Curtis, what other team would you root for besides the Cowboys? Also, Michael Irvin was a great player. He was. It depends season to season. I'll root for other teams if they just have players that I like. Like last year, I had rooted for the Chiefs, not because they were favorites, but I was rooting for them from the beginning of the season just because Mahomes, because I just really like Mahomes. I think he's a good kid, and he's fascinating for me to watch. But that's all. You know, if I find a player or players on a team outside of my favorite team that I really like, I'll root for them aside from my Cowboys. The Rams are a team I never used to root for, but I'm such a nerd for Aaron Donald. I found myself rooting for them over the last couple seasons in a lot of games. Guy's a freak. Aaron Donald is a goddamn beast. I felt strongly he was going to be because Notre Dame played him a couple times when he was at Pitt, and I was so glad to see that fucking kid graduate from there. Jesus Christ, what an animal. He just destroyed your whole game plan by himself. Monkey King says, what's your opinion on flat Earth? Being someone who has spent his life studying astrophysics and space in general fascinates me how stupid people can be. You said it, Monkey King. It's honestly kind of terrifying that there are that many flat earthers, that there are any flat earthers out there, let alone as many as there are. Yeah, no, it's very unsettling to say the least. Let's see. Sploosh says, Corny is a great guy and seems to be the only one who actually cares about the business these days. Well, great guy is subjective. I do think he knows the business inside and out, Sploosh, and he's one of the best storytellers in the business. And his story, and he's not a bullshitter. His stories are great stories. As far as is he a great guy? Yeah, I guess that's subjective. Downward says, Loin Prabang, I'm probably saying it wrong, is short, but has some good lyrics. One verse goes like so. In Luang Prabang, there is a spot where the corpses of your brothers rot. Yikes. And every corpse is a patriot. Every corpse is a hero. Wow, that's heavy duty stuff. Yeah, I'm sure I haven't heard that, Downward. I would remember stuff like that. Anything that's that hard hitting would have stuck with me. Mama says, I have a Wiener Schnitzel a town over from me. They still have the delicious hot dogs? Oh, man. You guys want, I don't even know. I think their Wiener Schnitzel is just West Coast, right? I don't think there's any. Now you guys got me curious. I don't think there's anywhere near me. Der Wiener. That's a spelling for you. Der Wiener Schnitzel locations. Let's see. Oh, enter zip code or city. I just want to see a national map. All right, I'll enter my zip code. So I'm going to say, what the fuck are you talking about? See what they say. 0 locations near you. No shit. All right, now I got to back out of the map and see if they've... what, their map doesn't even highlight them? Or do I have to zoom in more? Oh, no, it doesn't. I want a map where it just highlights the locations. God damn it, Wiener Schnitzel. Let's see. Okay, now I've got some listed here. There's Arizona. There's a bunch of them. California, which we knew. That's where I used to go to them. Still California. Oh, yeah. There's one in Fairfield, California. Let's see if the one I went to the one I went to was in Vacaville. Let's see if that one's still there, because I lived right in Vacaville. It's alphabetical, makes it much easier if I only knew my alphabet. I'll be right back to the chat, guys. Now you guys got me curious on this. Wow, there's a lot of them still in California. Holy shit. Okay. Woodland, Ubis.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Oh, no, wait. No, Vacaville. See, I told you I don't. Yep, it is still there. And it's still on Peabody Road. Goddamn, all right. I got to go back out and visit Vacaville at some point. New Mexico's got them? I don't even remember that. I live in New Mexico, too. Texas. So, okay, so it's the Southwest. Oh, I would love to have Der Wiener Schnitzel again. God damn it. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I'm just catching up here. But yeah, the one I used to go to is still around. Anime King says, if I could meet you in real life, Curtis, we'll probably have a good time. We'll go and kick some butt in a video game, of course. Well, if it's typically like Spaz Kid and I when we play a video game together, you'll kick butt and I'll like cheerlead and die, and you'll be reviving me. Hey, Chippy Saul, good to see you again, pal. It says, hey, Curtis, long time no see. Been super busy on the highway. No, glad you could stop in. Glad to catch another stream again. Hope you and your family are well. We're doing really well. Good to see you again, pal. Thank you for popping in. It's always good to see blasts from the past, names I haven't seen in a while. Know somebody's still okay and doing all right. Let's see. Streamline Dub says, time to give Curtis steamed vegetables. Oh, stop. Chrome says, I'm actually a big fan of Smash Bros. Creator Sakurai. He's one of the hardest workers in the industry. During the dev of the last one and this one, he broke his arm and still worked with it. Wow. I like that. Chrome has so much great, for lack of a better term, inside type knowledge about video games, anime, things of that nature. Between Chrome with that knowledge and Philip with his ridiculous amounts of historical knowledge, it's always fascinating for me because I always learn something new in an area that's interesting to me. Rosa says, my heroes are Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura and Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen. Magnus is the most advanced master in history, and Hikaru is his only rival. They're absolutely, amazing. Wasn't there... No, I think I'm combining two names. Rosa, isn't there, was that his name? One of the world's strongest men. Wasn't he a Magnus Carlsen? Or I might have the name mixed up. Johnny says, I had a half-hour convo with Crony about the shit state of wrestling. That's kind of cool. And he asked me for my address, and he sent me one of his rackets he signed. That's cool. I'm glad to hear he did that. He's a very nice guy. Just don't be a mud show fuck. That's cool. No, and don't get me wrong. I don't mean to insinuate. I never had an issue with him. I know I've seen him in person.
Oh, yeah.
Be kind of a dick at times, but I think we all can. And I'm not going to say in those situations that the person he was being a dick to didn't deserve it. But he's a fascinating guy to talk to about anything to do with the wrestling business. Thomas says, random thought. So if we already determined that Australia doesn't exist, what were the men at work singing about? Fucking men at work were in on all this. God damn it. Why didn't the flat earth... Oh, talking about the rains in Africa. No, men at work. What am I thinking? Is it... I just crossed over and Africa was fake too. Yeah, how come? I come from a land down under. What are we gonna do about them? We've got to expose them. That's all there. Expose them. That's all there is to it. Well, of course, the flat earthers already did, kind of. Anime King says, I'm curious, how tall are you, Curtis? That's too much to ask. Right? No. Yeah, you guys, the guys here will tell you, Anime King, you can ask me pretty much anything. I'll be glad to answer. I'm just a little under 6 foot. Just a little bit under. Jake says, you seem to have lived everywhere. Where have you lived? And if you can remember the ages when you lived there. Oh, geez, Jake. Well, I was born and raised here in this region of upstate New York. Okay. I lived in California. Oh, gosh. Ages is going to be tough. See, we made 2 trips out west when I was a kid. So we lived in New Mexico when I was like 15 or so. We lived in California shortly after that, we went from there to California. We lived in Arizona because my parents my father specifically couldn't figure out what the hell he wanted to do. My father wasn't an ambitious person and he was just kind of floating around. So at that time, between like 15, 16, I guess, we were in New Mexico, Phoenix for a short time, then California. Then back to New York again, and since then I lived in New Mexico again, California again. Then after California, I lived in Oregon, Boring, Oregon, for a short time. And I think that covers all the places I've lived. I've been through a lot of other places, but those are the places that I've lived. Excuse me, sorry guys. Rosa says, no, I didn't mean you're Magnus Carlsen, Rosa. I was just wondering, isn't that the same name? She says Magnus Carlsen is a grandmaster in chess. He achieved FIDE of 2884, and Hikaru Nakamura is the fastest thinker in the world. That's cool. If you were wondering, top players have FID ratings of 2600. Wow. That's cool. No. I didn't mean to suggest that, Rose. I was just saying, isn't there... I can't remember if that's his name. That Magnus that I'm thinking of... Well, if you look it up, if you were to do a Google search on Strongman Magnus, I'm sure it'll come up because he's one of the strongest men to ever live. But I just couldn't remember if Carlson was his last name or not. I can't remember. Kaiser says, I've looked into Flat Earth. They do make good points in a sense of not just trusting willy-nilly, but none of them claimed a pre-NASA photo of Earth showed no curve. The image they used was cropped. Yeah, Kaiser. I don't know that they make what I would consider any good points. I don't believe in just trusting. I've told you guys that over and over. You always have to be aware of a source. And before you believe anything, you want to do your own research and don't take anyone's word individually. That said, to still believe that the Earth is flat with with the that we can give you live pictures proving that not to be the case, among other things, it's just beyond moronic. Magnus Samuelsson, that might have been it, Jack Queen. That might have been it. Maybe it was Samuelsson.
Yeah.
I knew it was Magnus was in it, and it just when Rosa said that name, it just triggered that memory. It might have been Samuelsson. I think Jack's right. Downward says, "Can we eat New Mexico again? Terrible place." I didn't mind New Mexico. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't want to live there again. Just not enough to do and everything. But no, I didn't mind it. Streamline Dub says, Curtis, you should go to an anime theme park. I would love to. And try to vlog it along with your Disney park streams in the future. That would be cool. I would love to. Absolutely love to. Philip says, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. What do they say? I can't say. It was in Vietnamese.
Oh,
Flashbacks. Yikes. Yeah. Yes, Philip, you are correct. That would be a powerful non-flashback right there. Shadow says, Curtis, do you think the NFL is rigged? No. I don't think the NFL always makes great decisions, but no, they're not rigged. Well, you got to think about things from a perspective too, guys. Whenever you think about a conspiracy theory or something like that, say the NFL being rigged, do you know how many people would have to be in on that and keep their mouths shut? It's never going to happen. I think so, Tyler. He says, wait, if Africa is alive, then is world hunger solved? At least we accomplished something today here. Rosa says, okay, Rosa's got it. Magnus Samuelsson is an actor, so I was still wrong. Magnus Magnuson is called the Strong Icelander or something like that. Looked at okay. All it took, Rosa, you guys know how bad my memory is. As soon as I saw Magnus, apparently I just associated it with the only Magnus that I've known. So it wasn't Samuelsson. It was I didn't recognize. Probably because in the competitions and stuff, especially if his name is Magnus Magnuson, they always just referred to him as Magnus. I just remember I always liked watching those strongman contests. That guy was a fucking beast. Just an absolute freak. Willie Play says, cool family story. My dad's family is from Buffalo, and when he and my grandparents moved to Colorado Springs in the 70s, buffalo wings were known, so my family brought buffalo wings to the Springs. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, that is, having spent, I just lived down the road from Buffalo, so I've been up there rather often. Yeah, that's the thing up there. That's the move. I agree, Dollar says, how much of a Chad do you have to be for your name to be Magnus? That's a badass name. I could not agree more. Lookman says, another weird random question, but how big were rappers Eminem and 50 Cent, if you do know? Oh, sure, I know of them. They have global fame or not, since rap back then wasn't as globally mainstream as it's... Oh, yeah, they were. They were huge. They were monstrous back in their day. Yeah, Lookman. Yep, both of them. 50 Cent and Eminem both were monstrously big. Yeah, absolutely. Wimatoad says, I came across one of the greatest YouTube comments today. It goes as follows. Only when a mosquito lands on your testicles will you realize violence isn't always the answer. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. Timothy says, God is angry with me for being a master debater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, when God should then be mad at all the truly experienced fishermen too, right? Those master baiters. All right, guys, I gotta go. And what better way to leave it than on a master baiter joke about fishermen? Oh, I can't say fishermen. Fishing people. I'm sorry. Oh, geez. I'm sure a lot of you were offended by that. Please don't at me. But guys, thanks for the stream. This, as always, this was just a blast. I love hanging out with you guys. I truly do. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's that meh kind of sticky stuff where it's like, I can see the weekend. I can see Friday, but there's so much Thursday shit in the way. So this is Wednesday's sticky stuff is a little confused. And it's not the most motivated, but it's still better than Monday stuff. So here it is. Here's some still better than Monday sticky stuff for all of you. Pampu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. It's not overly motivated, but it could be worse type thing. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and it's never the worst, goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh. Ah.